Digital. Select file.
This is sort of our one opportunity that we're going to have before we start shooting to go over all of our logistical information. We'll cover the elements that we need each day, what cast members are in the scenes, what pieces of special equipment, vehicles, everything that we have on the show. That's what we're going to go over here. So at any time if there are any questions, I encourage those questions. This is the opportunity to ask those questions. I'd rather have those questions come up now than when we start shooting. Right? It's much cheaper to answer those questions now. I also want to, I'm honored actually to have this opportunity to introduce Bob Manganelli, our director, Chris Nakis, our producer, John Coca, our producer, and Chris Thor. Especially for Bob and Chris, I guess John's been around the project for a while also, but it's really a pleasure. I came on just in the last few months through Kurt Brevet, and Kurt and I worked together in New York, and Kurt and Bob are friends, and Kurt's been involved with the project quite a while also. But they're RIT alums, and they've been endeavoring at getting this project off the ground for quite a while. And it's our job to support them and support their vision of getting the film made and making the best film that we can. So, saying no more, I'd just like to introduce Bob, Chris, John, and Chris, and Kurt, if you'd like to make any opening comments.
What? Any opening comments?
Any opening comments?
What would you like to say,
Director, stand up.
Everyone's gathered.
I did the toast last night, so I pretty much said it all there.
Well, I think that
A few people weren't there though at the
People
toast,
weren't there?
so if you like to add anything here.
Just thank you. Thank you, thank everything that we're actually making this movie.
Thanks.
Everybody.
Okay, that's good.
Chris, what would you like to say? Chris, also we saw Bob's two films yesterday. Those of you who were able to make it out to the Little Theater, 32385, and Listen Carefully, two terrific films that Bob did prior to this.
Well, you didn't like 32385 is what I heard.
I did like it.
Oh, you did like that?
I liked both of them.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah.
Word
I
of mouth was correct.
I did. I especially liked Listen Carefully, but I liked them both. I thought they're both very interesting.
I will be working hard this whole time, so you don't have to worry about, you don't have to crack the whip on me. But anytime you guys need anything, I'm not the big director, I'm not the director, luckily, and I'm not a producer that wears a big suit and walks around and has a bunch of assistants around me and everything. So I'm very approachable. So no matter what, if it's a PA or anything, you can always come to me and ask me, and I can shovel, dig out somebody, grab somebody in the pit where we're going to be shooting in the swamp. If you need lights, the RIP department's anybody. Any extra help, need to go up on the condor, I'll do it. So just don't hesitate to ask me to do whatever.
Great.
That's it.
He's our hero.
Also, just so you know a little bit about Chris. Chris, 4 years ago, was walking around the streets of Rochester with a sandwich board raising money for the film, getting $20 donations, $30 donations, $50 donations, going from business to business. So this is kind of the culmination of
He also took out a mortgage on his house, and he sold his business.
Yes.
So I will be
So
living
he's broke?
I'll be living under State Street Bridge.
John? John Coca?
I would say, thanks for coming and listen to him. That's about it.
Chris Starr?
Well, I'm one of these guys that, on this picture at least, I come in and out a lot, so I'll be here for a while. First week of shooting, and back probably some other during the time period, and keeping track of everything. We're talking with Johnny, Chris, and Bob. But it's exciting to work on the project, and this is one of those movies that gets made because a lot of people are dedicated to getting it made and have a real passion for it. I know Bob has had that passion. I know Chris has had that passion. That's why we're all here today. So it's exciting to be here.
I'm Harry Hope on the key grip.
Terry Meadows, gaffer.
Kurt Robe, DP.
Dale Evans, script supervisor. Ishna, costume.
Kathy Sweeney, production design. Karen Spencer, editor.
Angelo Mancuso, publicist.
Ellie Amick, second assistant camera.
I'm John Ebert, sound mixer.
Les Smith, band second second.
Jesse Weiss, still photographer.
Estrella, key PA.
All right.
Sandra Christian, coordinator.
All right, folks. Yeah, just to make it a little easier for everyone else to kind of follow along. The paperwork that you have in front of you, I've transferred to transparency, so I'm going to work off this. That way, if anyone gets lost, they can kind of just look up at the screen and try to find your way back. So, all right. Other than that, right now, just as an overview, our schedule is at 31 days right now. There is a chance that we may be able to take one day out of the schedule. We're working to do that, but as of right now, it's 31 days, and we start shooting on Wednesday. All right. Any other questions before I get started going through the schedule? All right. At any time, if there are any questions, just shout out, and let's begin. Again, we're starting off. We're working off the document that says after image shooting schedule, revised Monday, May 8th. And this again, a note about the screenplay, just as a reminder. The white screenplay that we have, that's what we're working off now. If you have blue revisions, pink revisions, any other colored revisions, make sure you get a copy of the white script.
The recycle bin down below.
Right next to the copier. Yep, absolutely. All right, let's get started. As I mentioned, we're going to start shooting on Wednesday. That's shoot day number 1, May 10th. Scene 64, exterior cliffs game. This is over at the High Falls. For the folks that aren't familiar with the area, that's not far from the hotel here. This river that runs in front of the hotel, that's the Genesee River. I'm told that's one of the few rivers in the world that flows south to north. A little bit of local trivia. Joe confides in Laura. That's Joe and Laura. This is a scene that takes place after Laura's kind of slipped out of the hospital. We're saying in terms of the story, 5 days have passed since she slipped out. This is given some time to have her abrasion on her face heal a little bit, and it's almost gone at this point. This is the abrasion that she suffers when she strikes her head and her cheek in the alley when she falls. All right, that's Joe and Laura. Yeah.
Is this day or dusk?
It's day.
Okay.
Joe, Laura's facial abrasion. We talked about shooting 2 cameras here. We have a motorized safety boat out there. We're going to use this inflatable boat also to shuttle our gear onto this island. There's a little bit of a channel that we have to go across. Yeah, Terry.
Just the one boat. You're not gonna have 2.
We got the one boat. We'll look into seeing if we can get a second boat.
Is it the same boat that we use?
Same boat. Yeah. Couple issues. One is a cost issue.
Okay.
2 is that little area where you have to latch onto the safety line.
Right.
There's an issue about getting the lines tangled.
Getting a second, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And even a bigger boat, the problem with the bigger boat is it's so shallow it bottoms out, yeah. So it's probably going to be the one boat.
All right.
We need to see if we can get access to that little building behind the rock.
Well,
that
see
little
it.
island, so
Inside there.
Yeah.
in case
We're more concerned about power availability there.
it may rain. It's
Oh,
gonna be very
inside
low.
that little building, actually, not that opening, that archway with the drainage.
No.
Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Chris, you getting over there? All right. I'm familiar about that already. Also, we mentioned that the 10-ton truck probably will not go down to the High Falls that day. It might be the smaller package, the overflow truck. All right, scene 3, interior Rochester PD hallway. Cooper orders Joe to take leave. This is Joe and Captain Cooper. We've got some extras there. We've got our what we're calling our we're calling these the non-Rochester officers, actually. We have a couple burly types and a couple lawyers, etc. Props: Captain Cooper's watch, Christine's police folder, Detective Shield, hip clips, envelope with Joe's paycheck, Joe's camera accessories, Joe's paycheck and envelope, Joe's police ID photo, the lawyer's briefcases, the police guns, and weapon support, the holsters. Set dressing, there's a little entry, or a little doorway that we're shooting into a little office when Cooper comes out. That will need to be dressed with some kind of police posters or whatever. All right, that's for that day, it's a total of 3 6/8 pages. Shoot day number 2, Thursday, May 11th. Scene 48, exterior public market day. The vendor sells Laura a cut rate watch. That's Joe, Laura, Rye, and the vendor. We're also going to bring in about 20 of our own background that we can kind of strategically position in the crowd next to them and across away from them, so the background kind of matches when we're cutting back and forth. So also at this alley we've got the knife rig. There's going to be a knife stuck in Alina's, is it her back? Or it's like probably her side. In her side. The pocket watch that Laura's just purchased at the public market. We talked about having some special effects steam in the 2 manholes and putting a different grading on those manholes to get a little bit more steam up through there. I've talked to John Basin about that. We talked about the foam rubber curve when Manny was here, our stunt coordinator. And we talked about how we'll work that fall. For wardrobe purposes, we're going to have to pad Terraline's knees and her elbows, so something that will kind of blousey or baggy or something that might be able to hide the pads a little bit. All right. Also, this is one of our days where we have our police officer that's going to close the end of the alley. It's a one-way alley, but we want to control it from that end. All right. Scene 0 Apple. Interior Joe's crime scene, or interior Joe's car at the crime scene. Night. Crowd parks as Joe drives up. Joe and Rye. Rye's scattered in the crowd there. Our camera's in the back of the car. We're driving up. We go down about a half a block. The street is raining. So when we're outside at that crime scene, that's one of the few scenes that we're actually making it rain on. So we're saying that the uniformed officers are going to be in raincoats, so we don't see their uniforms really. Okay. And the police cars we're going to angle, so we never read Rochester, or we're going to Greek them out a little bit. And those officers, when we're inside there, Vishnu is working on coming up with some alternate uniforms that we can dress people in.
Ask questions?
Yeah.
I see on the props Christine's police folder. I haven't read the new script. Are there photos of Christine's murder here, or have they been? No photos of Christine's murder. Okay, just for Jesse, because he'll have to shoot. Okay.
Let's see. We've got our about 25 curious onlookers. We've got our ND police officers. We've got ND detectives outside. We've got 2 local news reporters and 2 local cameramen. They're bringing their own gear, right, Angelo?
That is correct.
Okay. They've also volunteered to have 2 of their vehicles out there, the news wagons. The props are the camera, Joe's camera and his accessories, Joe's license plates, Joe's police ID badge. We talked about the rain. We're waiting down the street, obviously, and a little bit of smoke and atmospheric smoke. There's a police dog. I think John is arranging for that, and the handler that deals with the dog. Set dressing is a crime scene tape. We mentioned this issue of these first 3 scenes, 3 or 4 scenes, actually the first 5 scenes I believe it is, are all set in a different city other than Rochester, and then they travel to Rochester when Aunt and Joe get on the ferry and they go to the other town, and then they arrive in Rochester. So we're just going to disguise some of the police cars, and we're going to disguise the wardrobe at this crime scene. John Vincent's going to have his rain towers out there. Costumes will have raincoats, umbrellas for props, all that stuff. We should make sure we have some couple of rolls of Visqueen on the truck, just to cover up whatever we need to protect. And our fire trucks, I think we mentioned those, and I think we're shooting Area 3 there, right? Sure. We talked about, or we may have didn't mention it yet, but we have Sony has cleared the use of their trademark for Joe's camera, or actually for Rye's camera, and I think we're still resolving the issue with Joe's camera. Do we know anything more on that, Kath? Do we know anything more what camera Joe will have?
Yeah,
his still camera.
Yeah, I have a Canon that John Vincent.
Okay,
Are there lightning strikes here for the flashes?
Also, this night, there's a walkway, so we have security, we can leave the lights and...
Yes. Yeah, we'll walk away, probably just lower the conduits and cover the
AC in the
heads.
street, Chris, it's all right. We just lower the contours, wrap them up, pull the cable out or something,
Yeah, and we just
I'll
want
sleep over and watch it.
Chris has his bow and arrow. as our security. We just want to make sure, obviously, that we're not blocking the lane, so a fire emergency vehicle gets through.
I don't see lightning strikes.
I'm heading all right. I've got it right above in there, but it's, I'm adding it right here. Oh, should be there. All right.
Just
Yes.
you said disguise the police cars or?
I'm just gonna angle the cars. Away from the angle. Joe arrives at the crime scene. This is Joe getting out of his car now. He's gonna assemble his camera and his lenses, do a couple of tests of the flashes. It's Joe and Rye. Rye's in the crowd. We talked about our background, it's the same. We also have, at this point, a coroner's wagon that's going to be going the opposite direction of Joe's car once his car stops. We've got our police barricades. Other than that, everything is the same. All right, so again, this is raining, and we have our strobe / lightning strike game. All right, any questions there?
Are all these vehicles nailed down? Has John arranged, talked to everybody for these? Or?
I don't think either John Miklos or, do you know anything more about those, Chris?
I'm sorry, he was.
The police vehicles and the blazer and all that stuff.
Apparently, we're going to be getting them, Captain Johnston, the guy that showed the photograph, said you can have whatever you want. So we'll try to get the big tech van also.
So, am I coordinating that, or is John still coordinating that?
You from John, because John spoke to Captain Johnston. So you and John have to get together. I coordinated the coroner's van to come out, so I know about that. But
Yeah, but the tech, we're gonna use a car, not a tech van.
For Joe?
You mean?
No, just
for
one of the
the
background
coroner.
cars, yeah. So let's do this. Why don't you have a conversation with John after this meeting, just to, and we should really get the contact person with that's really wrangling these police vehicles, so that we can give them a number of cars that we need, the types, and when we expect to need them. All right, let's continue on, guys. Shoot day number 4, Saturday, May 13th, scene 23, exterior Mount Hope Cemetery. That's the day. Laura walks to aunts. This is Laura. The first day we do the exterior of the location. The second day we do the interiors. I've added these two little scenes, the little bit of walking, daylight exterior, so that we can knock those off before. We'll have our base. We'll keep our base camp though at the crime scene. We'll just go over in a van and an overflow truck or something. All right. Interior Christine's crime scene night. Joe's struck by the brutality of the murder. Joe, Rye, Captain Cooper, Christine D'Angelo, and Ms. D'Angelo. We've got our, when we're inside the apartment, we found that the uniformed police officers are not in there because of fear of contamination of the crime scene. So we don't have to worry about the issue of the wardrobe patches. We won't see any inside. And when we do see out the windows, like in the front of the house, out to that street where Christine's mother is, and maybe through that bay window on the kind of the side of the house or the back side of the house, they'll still be in their raincoats, so we're covered both ways. Inside are Christine's personal items, the school notebook. We've got a coroner's gurney. At some point we'll choreograph bringing that in. Maybe that comes in right at the end of the scene or something. Detective shields, fingerprint kits. We definitely should have a fingerprint kit outside the where the door has been jimmied. Later, there's a reference in the script about one of the detectives getting a fingerprint match off the door. So it'd be nice to see as we're outside doing those shots, just to establish a guy out there dusting for prints. Everything else, plastic evidence bags, honors pin, etc. on the prop list. I think everything's pretty straightforward there. Set dressing, the boyfriend's photos that were taken yesterday, the dried blood on the floor and walls. the beauty products, the jewelry box, the Jimmy Deere door we've talked about, miscellaneous makeup supplies. We have that company that's cleared all that stuff for us and is donating the promotional stuff, etc. The apartment's been ransacked. It's also when we're seeing out the windows, it's raining outside. We've got our condor still. We've got our lightning strikes for the shutter effect and the strobing effect.
Real quick, when we see outside, that's back toward the courtyard, correct?
A little bit back toward the courtyard when he comes. We're gonna have his clean POV going into the room all the way from the door,
right.
all the way into that front room. So we see out that front door window in that shot. That's the end of the shot.
It is.
Yeah, that is.
It is.
But the whole window isn't covered though, it's just part of it, right?
Oh, it's just part of it.
Yeah, and then when we do the reverse, when we're on him, when we're leading him back, we see into that little courtyard in the back. So, also on this day, there's a note about the grip, a little bit of the flashing light gags, and we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
the
like
color
I said,
films.
but-
Yeah, and we'll have a couple of cars out there, but we'll be able to supplement it with the help of our talented gripology. So, we hope, Barry, right?
This is a full opportunity. I'm putting
This is your opportunity.
This is not a major thing. I
This
don't
is
want
not-
to make this
it's
into
just
the
a gag.
red and
It's
blue
just-
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
but we're using the condor to do it.
Ah.
And so we're using 4 like bar cans. So these are like, I think the smallest lights I've ever seen on a condor. So I think this will be a Kodak moment.
Well, excuse the pun, but this will be your opportunity to shine.
Yes.
Scene 191, Christine gasps, mama. It's Christine, and we're going to shoot this 2 ways, once in her death makeup and also clean, where we tilt up and to reveal that she's...
This is where the dress is ripped up.
Yeah, there's 2. On this one, she's brutal when we come down, and when we come back up, she's completely clean. So it's 2 dresses ripped the same way.
There's one dress is clean and one is okay. Double wardrobe.
Are you getting light bulbs for the studio lights, or do you want me to pick them up, and what, if so, what kind?
We talked to Terry a little later.
And Chris, who was shooting the stills and the photos of those?
Jesse Wise.
Okay, and Jesse, Chris will give you some more detail on that, okay, but we'll set it up so you can shoot that as we're either rehearsing or you'll watch what Mellencamp does when he shoots, and you just match those.
20, we call it 20.
I'll let you know how many.
I've got a couple more.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, any other questions there? All right, that is the end of our first week, folks. That's our short week.
Good job.
Top of page number. Yes, sir.
I just have one quick question. When we do that exterior night thing, Chris, this is a lot more directed for you. We'll be bringing the condors around the other street that we didn't really go look at. So the neighbor's yard where we're shooting, where he's playing basketball, we'll probably go in between the house and that garage. On their side, like if like the street where they enter the garage area. So we got Auntie's apartment here, or house here. And then we got their house here, and there's the garage where he's playing basketball. We're gonna be on this street with the condor.
Okay.
So we'll go up the street.
Into the
and-
driveway.
At the end of the driveway.
Or the driveway, yeah.
So, okay.
Behind the house.
Those people have been pretty nice so far. We've
Okay.
seen them a couple, once.
On the side,
I think that-
on the side where the door, you know how the door changed now?
Yeah.
The door's over here?
Yeah.
As you start walking
Yes.
towards the street is
Yes.
where you want the condor.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That was only, I think we discussed condor locations everywhere else there, but except.
Okay, well, usually, see, they're gonna be moved over there, they're gonna stay there for a week.
Right,
usually
so we can
they-
move them around. Right, okay. So we're gonna be.
Once you have them there, use them because they're expensive.
Well, see, I'm used to like, the police interfering and you have to have like
Not at
coordinated
that
parking
location,
and all that stuff,
and
so.
not until
As long as we can move around, I'm fine with that.
Getting out of the driveway.
Just
Okay.
use them.
And that-
Cool.
So we're moving the condors around on public streets with that,
That's correct. We're gonna do a lot of challenging things on this.
Well, I'm marking them off over here.
I mean, I don't mind doing it, we'll put a guy with it on
Absolutely.
We'll try and, but I don't know about directing traffic legally.
I'll give a couple of guys. Here, it's like, the town loves us. I don't know.
Okay, so we can have free range.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far, but we have limited free
It seems
reign.
like we have a lot of help from the police department versus being a hindrance.
Like, most of the actual officers at these crime scenes and things are real police officers, detectives, friends of the detectives, etc. All right. Scene 174. Joe chains the door. Now this begins the sequence, kind of coming to the abandoned orphanage. As Joe, as like a flat almost, the window frame we're creating at the base of the window, and we're just going to put that against a neutral background. He's going to go through that window, literally follow the height of this table into a pad. Then we'll cover that again with our actual stuntman going through the real window, going through, and into a bag down below. And then on the next day, so we'll do those interior shots on one day. On the next day, we'll do the exterior shot with 3 cameras from outside and down low, and probably some profile to the window of him going through. So the stuntman will go through the real window twice. Our actor will go through this faux window and flat type thing one time.
Now, would we do the stunt first so that that window's clear for the fake?
I think what we do is we find a different section of the building, maybe on the same floor, but we take that down to do Michael's thing first, so we're matching to what he does.
Okay.
And we'll have Manny work with him on that, stunt coordinator. Manny Severio is our stunt coordinator. He came up about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. We took him over to the abandoned building, went through the layout of it. He talked about his needs for the bag and for his double, and the guy that he's going to have double arrive. And he'll be back with us soon. You guys will get a chance to talk to him too. Yeah.
So you need a deep
Is that a diving well thing?
Deeper than that.
The register
Well,
pool.
try my high school first.
The crematorium we haven't really kind of worked out totally yet. Do we think we're building this, or is there something that exists already?
No, we're
Well,
building it.
we have a space, the warehouse, but then maybe you're going to do it outside.
It's not much of a build.
Okay.
It's really the bottom of the crematorium and the sides.
Right. So Kathy, you have a pretty good sense on that one, or?
Now, you might be able to get the boxes they use at the crematorium, Mount Hope.
And the glass shattering, the 60 Apple, this is, that's the scene number. Let me double check that scene number. But that may not be the right scene number. But that's going to be the deal with the ceiling at Dolores. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to create like the fake piece of the ceiling piece and put our camera on the floor, on the deck, 120 frames, with optical plexi, squib it, let it fall towards the lens. And underwater tank, Joe's camera submerges. We talked about having something that's not really the camera, but something they're going to carve or something, right? Okay. Any questions? Concerns, comments, or nasty smirks?
Do you want a separate log for video?
Or what?
Do you want a separate log for video?
Yeah, that would probably be good. It's really, whatever kind of you can work out with the editor, so that the editor can find this stuff. Yeah, that's going to probably be the key thing, yeah.
Yeah,
Just so
that's
there's
a
some sort of
Candy question.
Right.
Yeah, so this is
That's a CQ.
So there's a consistent strategy for that. Guys, thank you so much for coming out today. If you need to know what's going on for the rest of the day, there's copies of the pre-production schedule available in the production office. It's 11:30. We got off to a little bit of a late start. So,
Yes.
you'll have them tomorrow.
This is what Red.
Day before.